De volta ao FM Entrevista, continuamos a conversa com o embaixador da África do Sul em Moçambique. Estávamos mesmo antes do intervalo a tocarmos assunto ligado ao terrorismo na província de Cabo Delgado. Terrorismo este que iniciou mesmo em 2017, várias infraestruturas foram destruídas, vidas perderam-se. Mas, por outro lado, há que dizer que em 2023 os Estados Unidos da América indicaram haver na África do Sul pelo menos 4 figuras ligadas ao financiamento ao terrorismo. Como é que olha para esta questão? Marcha ou não a África do Sul?
Well, I think the question can be attended to in 2 ways. First of all, what the United States may characterize as terrorists, you may not characterize as terrorists. There's the issue, for instance, of Hamas, who the United States regard as terrorists, who we don't regard as terrorists. When I go to the United States, I get pulled aside because according to their legislature, according to their laws, I am a terrorist because I participated in the struggle for liberation, which they didn't support, which they characterized as terrorism. So Mandela too was regarded as a terrorist in the United States, and they had to institute particular legislation in order to remove him from that terrorist list. That's one. Secondly, of course, we recognize that there is terrorism as a country, and we recognize that there is terrorist phenomenon even in Mozambique here. But terror cells of terrorists exist everywhere, even in the United States itself. The United States can't claim that they don't have terrorist cells in their country. That is why, in the first place, there was the attack in the United States, the Twin Towers attack, because there were cells, terrorist cells in the United States, and they didn't disappear completely. And they may still exist today. And from time to time, they are discovered to exist. They exist in the United Kingdom. They exist here in Mozambique, in Maputo. They exist. They exist everywhere in Africa. And we are a country, we are a democratic country, just like Mozambique is a democratic country, where people who enter legally and have got believable legends to come into those countries are let in. If there are legitimate reasons why those people come into the country, and some of them may as well be terrorists, but we have a relationship with the United States of America at the security level, where all these matters can be discussed and disproved or proven, so that we take action against all those cells, whatever cells may exist of terror. So I don't think it's an important discovery, if indeed it is so, that there may be terror cells in South Africa, or people who support terrorists in South Africa. And we may arrest some of them from time to time in South Africa, and we have. So I don't think it is an issue that really South Africa should be pointed out to say that there are known cells. And in the first place, when there are known cells of terrorists, it is incumbent upon whoever to discuss with the Mozambican if authorities, if they know there are such, to discuss with the South Africans if they know there are such, so that these matters can be solved, can be settled, and those people arrested and brought to book.
O assunto dos terroristas fica para trás, mas também Moçambique e África do Sul são países vizinhos, partilham fronteiras. A mais usada é a de Hassan Garcia, que do lado sul-africano é a de Libombo. Como está em termos de parceria neste ponto fronteiriço para fazer com que haja maior fluxo depois da Covid-19?
Mozambique and South Africa have what we call a binational commission, where we meet every 2 years to discuss things that affect both our country's economies, security, trade, and so on. So this matter is one of the most important matters that concern us at those binational commissions, because it is something that was realized long ago. There was an MOU in 2008 already, where there was a decision to create a one-stop border post. There were decisions that were taken long ago to make this border between Rosana Gracia, the border between Mozambique and Mozambique, a 24-hour border post. It took long because there are so many considerations when those decisions have to be implemented. Recently we have established what is called a border management authority. In the past, we used to have many agencies at the South African side of the border. In Mozambique, it may be so still currently. We have to talk to one another as countries, to each other as countries, in order to smooth things, to make the arrangements so that these things operate properly. It has not come up. You know that the 24-hour border post is now operational, which is an achievement because of this dialogue between both countries. The one-stop border post is also something that concerns South Africans and Mozambique, and it is something that we need to resolve. I think there are many players who want to help both countries in order to resolve this matter. And I think in the ultimate end, it is going to be resolved, because it is in nobody's interest that there should be congestion at that border post, the congestion that exists now. But of course, the congestion is not only caused by the fact that there is no one-stop border post or that there is no 24-hour border operation. It is caused by the magnitude of the trade that exists between the two countries, which has increased exponentially, especially since the war between Russia and Ukraine, which has seen European countries demanding coal when they were asking for coal stations to be decommissioned. So there is a demand, growing demand for things that making this route even busier than it would have been, and perhaps we would be some way towards trying to resolve this problem. But we are discussing. We are looking to having, and it's Mozambique was supposed to host the binational commission this year. We don't know, because both countries are going for elections, whether this will be possible, but I think it is important that we sit and resolve some of these questions, economic questions, apart from other questions that relate to security issues that you may have asked about earlier.
São 24 horas na fronteira de Rassane Garcia ou de Libombo em que há esta abertura, mas continuamos a verificar este congestionamento ao longo da Estrada Nacional número 4, quando falamos de Maputo até a vizinha África do Sul, concretamente em Pretória, esta ligação terrestre. Esta cabotagem via terrestre não poderá prejudicar, não podia-se fazer de uma outra forma?
No, I think it's because there are always business considerations. Because I think the cheapest way in which goods could have been transported to the port of Maputo is through rail. But we know that the capacity of rail at the present moment is not adequate to fulfill that task. That is why there are trucks. But ideally, there shouldn't be trucks on the road transporting coal, but we have now. And there are many also interests, private interests and other interests which militate against finding solutions. Because many of the people who export this coal, who export mining products, minerals and so on, are private individuals. And they have got to weigh the costs against what the costs would be if, say, they went via the sea. In fact, it is not a practical solution at the present moment, because as we speak, in the Richards Bay and Devonport are themselves congested and have got their own logistical problems because of the problems that Transnet has at the current time. So I think that is why you see the diversion of a lot of what used to be exported through Richards Bay and Durban coming through to Maputo. So these are, I would say, nice problems for Mozambique in a way, because it means more revenue for the port of Maputo to be used, even though it has got negative consequences for the congestion at the border. For you and me who use that border to cross into South Africa, to go to Nelspruit and other places in South Africa.
Olhamos para o setor empresarial, em que esteve aqui a responder em relação à cabotagem na Estrada Nacional número 4, e agora seguimos que este ano a África do Sul vai às eleições. Como está organizado este processo das eleições para permitir que os eleitores sul-africanos residentes em Moçambique possam votar?
Well, we had a registration process here in February, early February. We didn't get that many people come to the mission here to do registration, because many people, even I, did an online registration. I didn't have to come on the day to register, except to observe the people who were coming to register for the elections. And it is really only those people who were unable by themselves to effect registration. But many people registered online. My family members registered online. They didn't have to come here. The people that work at the mission and some of the staff that work where we have an estate, Kayaletu, also registered online by themselves or were assisted by members of staff of the embassy. But I know that there are so many people, so many South Africans in Mozambique, and many of them that I have encountered who have said that they are going to vote, but because they are registered online, they registered themselves online. And we hope to see all the people who are going to register on the day, on the 29th of May, when our elections take place, or whenever our election date at the mission is decided upon.
Só para clarificar, temos muitos sul-africanos a residir em Moçambique, mas também estes sul-africanos estão em várias províncias do nosso país. O governo sul-africano está preparado para ter estas pessoas para também participarem deste processo de eleição?
Many of the people that I referred to who registered on their own don't live in Maputo. Are people who run businesses in Cabo Delgado, in various provinces, and they were able, because many of them are educated people, to register online. And on the particular day of the vote that will be designated for foreign missions, they will be able to vote. And we hope, we know that elections in South Africa are always free and fair. We never experience conflicts as a result of elections that take place in our country, because we have an independent electoral commission which has briefed now. Some incidents happened recently which concerned many people were lists of people, of parties, party lists of people who are going to parliament were sent out to the public before the Independent Electoral Commission could do so. But it has come to the Independent Electoral Commission has taken action against those people who were found to have transgressed its processes. So in general, I think the process is starting from the registration through to the elections themselves, because and the fact that there are observers from international communities, including SADC, and in the polling stations themselves, all parties are represented there, and they see to it that before the votes, after the votes are counted, they tally them with their own counting, and they are there when the counting process takes place. And what goes out to the tallying stations will be confirmed by what they have in their own hands, the party representatives. So there is integrity as much as is possible. It doesn't mean, of course, that people can't try to do silly things, but integrity is the name of the game in the South African elections. And very few times have people said those elections are not free and fair. And they have observers, accredited observers that are allowed by South Africa.
E quando chegam às eleições, relativamente a todo o mundo, e desta feita a África do Sul vai às eleições, mas também há sempre uma expectativa tanto do governo sul-africano, mas também para os eleitores. Que desafios?
There are always challenges. For one, when the Independent Electoral Commission was giving briefings recently, they were asked the question, what about load shedding? Is it not likely to affect elections? And they gave assurance that they are going to put up systems which will ensure that that does not happen. But of course, I think normally the bodies that control electricity supply would also be conscious of the fact that this is a very important day in the life of South Africans, and that they will try to make the best effort not to have load shedding, but that is not a guarantee. But the Independent Electoral Commission are talking to them. There are challenges, of course. I mean, all the time you find in polling station long queues, and sometimes there might be disruption, but really, I think most South Africans just go there and queue and come back if they feel the queues are long, and queue later on and vote and cast their vote. And we've got no doubt that the elections in South Africa this time around again will be free and fair, and everybody will participate, those who will do so willingly to participate. And this time there are even independent candidates who are not on party lists who will be participating, which makes the choice for South Africans wide indeed for them to participate and choose their representatives who are going to go to Parliament.
Embaixador, muito obrigada por ter aceito este convite e fazermos esta radiografia daquilo que é a relação económica, política entre Moçambique e também a África do Sul.
Muito obrigado. Thank you very much.